Feminist MC.
Life's good.
Hey, it's Diane Key and LG, and this is episode 53 of the Now What podcast. Today's episode is going to discuss female MCs and female turntablists and the impacts that they've made to the culture. Never heard of such a thing as a female MC or the term turntablism? Well, if you're about rap, hip-hop, feminism, and culture, today's episode is going to inform and inspire you to think more broadly when it comes to the representation of music, culture, and movements. These topics are woven in to the DNA of the Now What podcast, so I am personally excited to get into it. You're going to hear very different perspectives as Key, LG, and I all experience music in very different ways. In honor of April being National Poetry Month, and to make good on my one word from episode 45, in our Now What Patreon community, I'll be sharing my first piece of written poetry. You can join in on the conversation at patreon.com/nowwhatradio or stay up to date on the latest podcast at nowwhatradio.com. If you're down for this show and support what we do, follow us on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter, and you can find all of our handles in today's show notes. Key, LG, we are going to get into music today, specifically female MCs and female turntablists who have asserted their voice throughout history in the male-dominated rap industry. And while today's discussion is focused on the females, the people have said goodbye to a legend this week.
See, to live is to suffer. To survive, well, that's to find meaning in the suffering.
Hey, yo, I'm slipping, I'm falling, I can't get up. Hey, yo, I'm slipping, I'm falling, I can't get up.
DMX, aka Earl Simmons, aka Tommy Buns, rapper, actor, father. Key, LG, what are your thoughts on the impact that DMX had on the culture?
Yeah, LG, I'll jump in on this one, man. DMX is a hip hop icon. He's someone who sold a bunch of records. He's super talented. Sold out arenas. He was as big as any rapper that you can name. I mean, he's as big as you think how big Drake is today. That's how big DMX was, right at one point in the music sphere. One of the things I'll share with you, I wasn't a huge fan of DMX's music. I'll tell you, I was a big Tupac fan. Even with that, DMX still stood out. You know, one of my favorite songs by his is the Greedy song, but also Money, Power, and Respect. I think he had an awesome verse on that. I think when Belly came out is really when I started to give DMX an actual chance. Belly is probably one of my top 10 movies. It's just a great iconic movie. And of course, LG and I, we used to throw parties. You really no party scene was complete without a DMX song. He's aggressive, unapologetic. He also had a spiritual side. He was very honest, when that is very, very rare. R.I.P. DMX.
Yeah. I've been jamming out to DMX all week for sure. I'm a big fan as a teenager. Currently, definitely love Belly. It's classic in my opinion. Probably seen that over 1,000 times. DMX definitely, had a range of all types of songs. And so I think he was able to reach out to all types of listeners, whether that was, the gangster rap movement, the club scene, or even the poetic spoken word crowd as well. So one of my favorite songs is Damien. And in this song, DMX is kind of having a conversation with the devil, if you will, and trading favors for short-term success. But in the end, I think this song really maybe represented the struggle he dealt with as an individual. And so, as DMX faded from mainstream, the times he would pop up on the news, most of the time were kind of negative. So that was unfortunate to see. And with the latest news of his death, definitely R.I.P. DMX.
I think that icons like DMX, who gave so much energy and rawness to his craft, to his music, it made all of us want to see him succeed. his pain and his struggle was relatable and it was authentic, which really came through to me in his lyrics to Slip In, flesh of my flesh, blood of my blood, and I miss you. And his ability to achieve, despite the demons that he openly struggled with, provided a silver of hope for the culture and the people. So yeah, 100% RIP DMX.
Soldier was not born to make white people feel comfortable. I am African first. I am black first. I want what's good for me and my people first. And if my survival means your total destruction, then so be it. You built this wicked system. They say two wrongs don't make it right, but it damn sure makes it even.
Key, let's start with Sister Souljah, a very underrated but talented female MC, author, and activist in the game. Her 1992 album, 360 Degrees of Power, gave me so much energy. For today's episode, I asked you to listen to 3 of her songs that are my personal faves. The Hate That Hate Produced, State of Accommodation, Why Aren't You Angry, and Killing Me Softly, Deadly Code of Silence. What I have to say, Ice Cube at the end totally hypes me up.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, go ahead. So let's talk about Sister Souljah. Give me your thoughts on her.
So one of the things I can tell you is I had a girlfriend in North Little Rock who was a big Sister Souljah fan. So even though this was in 1992, to kind of date myself, I graduated high school in 1999. And so one of the things that I really can tell you about Sister Souljah is that she was probably an activist first and a rapper second, right? And that's one of the things that really, really stands out to me about her. Of course, before I get into the songs, right, I think where she actually hit the scene was actually Bill Clinton, right, actually mentions her by name.
You had a rap singer here last night named Sister Souljah. I defend her right to express herself through music. But her comments before and after Los Angeles were filled with the kind of hatred that you do not honor today and tonight. Just listen to this, what she said. She told the Washington Post about a month ago, and I quote, "If black people kill black people every day, why not have a week and kill white people? So you're a gang member and you normally kill somebody, why not kill a white person? Last year she said, you can't call me or any black person anywhere in the world a racist. We don't have the power to do to white people what white people have done to us. And even if we did, we don't have that low-down, dirty nature. If there are any good white people, I haven't met them. Where are they? Right here in this room. That's where they are. I know she is a young person, but she has a big influence on a lot of people.
And the reason, Bill Clinton mentions her by name is because this is how powerful she was. Bill Clinton mentions that she's super influential. But of course, as we all know, police have always seem to have always been killing us in the streets, because when you listen to her music that is, almost 30 years old, a lot of the messages that she's speaking about are still very relevant to this day. And so she was speaking out against things. Bill Clinton mentions her because she had a very strong statement. But again, if you just take those statements in itself and not, examine her, who she was and her work, I think those statements can be taken, greatly out of context, right? But again, go ahead.
And I would even say, Key, that's really what she was. That's really what her issue was, is that, her comments very explicitly say, like, Souljah was not born to make white people feel comfortable. I'm African first. And what's good for me and my people first.
No, exactly. And that's what I'm saying. So she is making a statement. That statement is meant to shock. It is meant to, hit you in a place where you probably haven't felt anything hit you before. And that's how her music is, So, I mean, the hate that hate produced, this is a young lady who speaks with incredible authority and conviction, you know, and basically she's making the statement to either that people need to either speak up or sit down and get out of the way. That's what this track is all about. This was in 1992. Here we are in 2021.
Yeah, listeners have to listen to that song, especially, you know, it's not by any means to instigate or agitate. It is with all, you know, hopes to bring some consciousness to, you know, to us people and to those, you know, who are just sleeping on it. DJ LG, and I'm putting the emphasis on the DJ LG.
Life's good.
Also a show producer. If we look forward a decade from Sister Souljah, we hear a new female on the mic. Missy Elliott. I chose 3 songs from her 2002 album, Under Construction: Go to the Floor, Gossip Folks, and Work It. I personally think her lyrics are screaming feminism. She's introducing hip hop feminism, the visual imagery. She's representing a voice for Virginia, who I believe, you know, she was part of putting Virginia on the map. But as a DJ, as a musicologist, I would refer to you, audio producer. First, let's just ask the question. The difference of MC, DJ, rapper, but I have a hard time understanding and distinguishing, you know, which category she would fall under, because I don't think you could call Nicki Minaj or even Lil' Kim an MC.
I disagree.
So break it down for the musical natives like myself who need some 101.
Yeah, I'll just say, you know, whether Missy Elliott is a rapper, a lyricist, or an MC, we could probably even add artists to this list. And as a student of hip hop, I think these words carry different connotations, and the differences are subjective and really determined by the listener of the music, if you will. For example, some may say Nicki Minaj is a lyrical rapper. Some may say she's a rapper. So is she a rapper or a lyricist? I think it's really all about your perspective, but I would definitely put Lil' Kim and Nicki Minaj in calling them lyricists or MCs. And on the lyrics front for Missy, she definitely has to be one of the best in using 2 key techniques in lyricism. 1, alliteration, and 2, her use of onomatopoeias are out of this world. So, you know, maybe between her and Cameron, it's a battle there between those 2 techniques. But yeah, so again, lyricist is somebody who I think is going to, pay attention to detail with their words, their alliteration. Jay-Z is a lyricist. With that being said, I would also say Nicki Minaj is a lyricist. I would also say I would give Missy Elliott that title as well, because she does use wordplay. You know, I think she had intention behind her words, right? And so MC is not, I would almost take it to the point to say that an MC also, you know, they are involved in the art. They care about the culture and the art. A rapper, there's a lot of rappers in the game. People that are rappers, they could probably they may not even care about the culture of hip hop.
Do you have any thoughts on why Missy Elliott was perhaps more well received in the industry than Sister Souljah? If you think about Missy Elliott, she's been in the game now how many years? What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think it comes down to the tone and the actual content, subject matters of the songs themselves. The music industry was able to make money off of Missy Elliott. In the case of Sister Souljah, the content was too abrasive at the time, I think, and maybe toxic for certain companies or politicians to jump around. Some of those messages could be, if we think about Dead Press, for example, they should probably be a lot more popular and mainstream than they are. But again, their message, their tone, the subject matter may not be as profitable for the music industry, if you will. And so I think this was the major difference between Missy and Sister Souljah.
So this is the podcast. This is a space where we give a platform to honor and share these voices and stories. You can find details on the artists we shared in the show notes for this episode. If you like what you heard today, continue in on the conversation at patreon.com/NowWhatRadio. Now What is dedicated to topics and issues impacting the Black and Brown community, to elevate and empower our people, our voices, and our cultures. We hope today's episode inspired you to have a Now What moment. You can hear music inspiration for today's episode on the Now What Radio Spotify playlist. Thanks for listening, and remember, if you want to support what we do, share, subscribe, and listen to us at nowwhatradio.com. And until next time, stay inspired.